Hey, welcome to my channel. Today I thought it would be fun to do two different types of tier trays, spring tier trays and Easter. Here you'll see the 4 tier trays that I am going to be working with, and let's get started. Here's my first tier tray. I had this theme going for this one with a lot of white. You'll see how dark the wood is on this tier tray, and I really want to bring out the whites. So I have this large white house and this large white sign. And I'm going to put some greenery, and I'm going to show you, I like to do opposites. So basically it is all about bringing symmetry to your tier tray. Now I want to apologize because some of this tier tray got deleted. I don't know how, I just did. So you're going to see here in a minute that it's almost finished, and I apologize. Also, my camera was having a really hard time zooming in and zooming out, so I do apologize for that. It is me going back and forth in front of this camera. Here I'm showing you all the different picks that I like to use on my spring trays. I do use a lot of greenery. I feel that what is the difference between a spring and Easter is the fact that I use more greeneries for my spring, and for Easter you're going to see that I'm going to use more of Eastery items like eggs and rabbits and birds. So here I am just kind of showing you the different picks, and I'm going to be placing them on this tier tray. I'm trying to balance the eucalyptus right now on having it on both sides of this tray. And again, another apology because I'm going to say tier tray a lot in this video because it is about tier trays. You know what I mean? What I really like about this tier tray is that it has a lot of room in between the first tier and the second tier. And so I'm able to use larger items on this one. I did get it on Amazon. Here is the finished product. So on this next tier tray, I really wanted to bring out blues. I find that blue and yellow is my color for spring. So I found this blessed sign. It'll go into focus, I'm sorry. I found this blessed sign at TJ Maxx, and it was my inspiration for this tier tray. I really like terracotta, and I thought it looked really nice against the black and the white with the turquoise or blue colors. So here I am kind of playing with my blues and terracotta. This had to be one of my favorite tier trays that I decorated. I did get this tier tray at TJ Maxx a few seasons ago, but I always see things like this there, so keep your eye out. Also, when it comes to shopping for your tier trays, you can look just about anywhere and find small items that will fit nicely. A lot of the things you'll see today are from the Target Dollar Spot, the Dollar Tree, TJ Maxx, and Hobby Lobby. I really enjoy finding small items that go on a tier tray. I'll look for tiny vases, tiny candles, I'll have tiny plants. I like to find the TJ Maxx $4.99 plants. I know that they're plenty small for just about any tier tray. You can also add houses. They look really nice on tier trays, and I find that they give a good background to any greenery that you're trying to put on your tray. You also want to look for items that will give depth and height. And so depending on the width of your tier tray, you're going to be able to put a lot of things or a little bit of things. So you're really trying to balance. You don't want your tier tray to look heavy. So as you can see on this one, I just have a couple items on the bottom, but then on the top I have a lot of little items, and I find that that's really pleasing to the eye. Having something to really balance or give structure to your tier tray, and so I like to find signs to do that. Here is the finished product. I hope that you really enjoy this one. Like I said, that one was my favorite. Here is the next tier tray, and I like to have my beads on this one. I don't know why, I just always have my beads on this. So I'm looking at if I want to do kind of a black and white theme with wood. And you'll see that everything that I'm picking is kind of the same height. So I'm going to need something to place underneath this vase in particular to be able to see it behind this house. You'll see that I use a piece of wood that I got from the Target Dollar Spot. It's one of their just blocks that had words on it, and I painted it with a white and a gray. And so now you're able to see the two vases where before you couldn't. Now I'm hiding that piece of wood with this sign that you'll see, and I really like being able to have either a large sign or maybe two small signs. Then placing some greenery on this tier tray, and then I'm going to even hide that block even more by putting greenery all around this tier tray. When you're out shopping for your tier trays, you want to look for your small items such as small greeneries, small vases, signs, small or large houses. I find that they can go with any season that you want. And then you can just change out a few little items, as you'll see later, and you can really bring out spring or winter or whatever season you're in. I thought today would be interesting to do a spring versus Easter tier tray because some people like to decorate for holidays and some people like to decorate for seasons. Now, I could not for the life of me find my birds. I have purchased a lot of birds because I find that birds kind of go with spring. Bunnies and eggs don't necessarily go spring to me. They can. I just really like birds. I find that birds, gardening, flowers, those are the kinds of things that I think of spring. So here is this tier tray, and we have one more tier tray for spring. It's a much smaller one. This is actually from the Target dollar spot as well. The diameter of this tier tray, it can be a little bit challenging to put items on it. So I'm kind of putting everything on the side because I actually don't know if it's going to fit or not. This theme to this tier tray is gardening. So here I am, I'm putting my greenery, of course. You gotta have some greenery for gardening. And I'm putting it on each side of the tier tray. But like I said, the diameter of this tray is very difficult to use, and so your items have to be very small, and you have to kind of think about these items before you put them on. So with this one, unlike most of the tier trays, I actually had to go find items that would fit perfectly. This in particular is from the spring line at Hobby Lobby, and it was one of the only watering cans that I could actually get to fit on this tier tray. It is very small, like I said, and these tiny houses that came out at Target, and you're going to see that I just use a battery pack to kind of lift this house up so that you can see the little door because it was lost in how thick these sides of this tier tray are. And this little gardening set that I found was from TJ Maxx. I actually got it on clearance last year, and here I am just kind of figuring out where I can place this. Now, I originally placed it in the watering can, but when I put it on the shelf, I actually couldn't fit it. I didn't take into consideration how much room this was going to need. And so you will see the finished product. Here it is. I hope you enjoy all of my spring tier trays, and we are going to jump right into the Easter. So here are all my items that I kind of have collected for Easter. You'll see bunnies, eggs, carrots, little items that look like Easter baskets. Those are good Goodwill finds, and other little assorted items. I did have one set of birds that I just got at TJ Maxx. I'm going to keep this in the same pattern of tier trays that I did in the first part of the video. So this is my darker tier tray, and you'll actually see that I use some of the same items, but I am going to change it up a lot. This one is my favorite tier tray out of all of them that I did today. I actually kind of did the same idea last year with this copper bowl. I absolutely love the way this copper bowl plays with the eggs. I'm going to use all neutral colored eggs in here, and it's in my little bag of goodies. And you're going to see me just kind of throwing in eggs. And then I'll play around and maneuver it so that it's not all the green eggs together or all the brown eggs together, but yet there's a good mix of both. So this next item is something I got from Hobby Lobby. It's a little plant holder that looks like a house, And you're going to see me bring out a rabbit that is moss covered, I guess you would say. I really like these kinds of bunnies. I find that they are very neutral, but they still bring a lot of color to your tier trays. And where I would put a pop of greenery, I can use this bunny instead. I chose Thankful because even though, thankful, I really think of Thanksgiving. It is something that I am trying my hardest to have a better attitude of thankfulness during this season of difficulty. And so Thankful just is a reminder for me that no matter what season I'm in, I have plenty to be thankful for. In this little house, you'll see I take a paper bag. That is my little trick, is if something doesn't fit inside of a vase, I stuff bags or paper inside of it because it's pretty much trash anyways, and it's a useful way without spending money on lifting an item that you won't be able to see anyway. So I stuff them with bags. You'll walk around my house and look inside vases with fake plants, and there are probably some kind of bag inside. You'll also see me using flowers on this particular tier tray. Because they're a lighter color, I find that they pop a lot on this dark colored wood. And I really love the way this just screams Easter to me. Easter and a hint of spring. I tried this greenery, and as soon as I didn't even place it down yet, and I'm like, no, too much green. So then I had to search for something that could give me height and a color. I needed some white on this tier tray. So I am going to find white. That is too tiny. So then I go back and I find the perfect item to go on the top of this tier tray. It is this large egg, and I find that that was just what this tier tray needed. And of course, some more carrots. So I'm using this little tin. It was actually from the Target Dollar Spot, and it had a plant inside of it. I took that plant right out. The eggs also are from Hobby Lobby. Here is the finished look on my shelf, and like I said, loved that. This tier tray, again, is my blue tier tray, and I'm going to stick to that same theme. It is going to be blue, terracotta, and some white. So I am using a darker, well, maybe not darker, but it's not transparent vase to play off the blues. And you're going to see that that plant was too short, so I'm just using this little stand, and it gives me the perfect height. Moving it over because I want it to be more behind that little white bunny that I also got from the Target Dollar Spot. I feel like I am totally selling you on the Target Dollar Spot. The reason I go there is because I'm cheap and because the items are just a couple dollars, and I know that I'm going to use it for my tier tray. So I'm like, okay, I can spend $1 to $3 on these little items. Here I have this greenery that I got from Hobby Lobby, and I think it looks like an Easter basket. And so I love using it as a filler for my eggs. I also use it all around my house. I love wrapping candles with it, and I just really think that it screams spring to me. I use it in my centerpiece. I use that stuff everywhere. I think I bought 4 or 5 bundles of it, and it comes in a long stream. Here is the finished tier tray. Again, turquoise and white. Here is my white tier tray that has a lot of room on the bottom. And so I'm going to use this large Our Home sign with larger items on the bottom. Now this little basket that I got at Goodwill was the perfect little tiny basket for a tier tray. I thought that looks like an Easter basket. I'm going to use this little home sign that I made. I just painted a little sign from Target Dollar Spot that was $1 and wrote home on it. But it raises that house so you can see it in the back. Like I said, I will just use about anything to hide in the background to give something height. So you'll see I have 2 green rabbits that are placed on this tier tray on opposite sides. Remember, bringing balance to that tier tray, having larger items on my bottom and having smaller items on the top, making sure that my greenery is on both sides, that everything is balanced. Now with this little tiny basket, I'm going to fill him up. I'm taking these little tiny eggs. I'm pretty sure I got them at Hobby Lobby. They are so tiny. I put them inside of this basket and I just thought this looks just put together. I thought I would just take a second to ask you, what is your favorite? Do you like the Easter tier trays or do you like spring? Please comment below if you have a minute. I would love to hear your thoughts. So I really like the balance of this with that little house popping in the background. Here it is, all finished and done. Now my little tiny tier tray, here he is again. Now the top of this tier tray was actually straight. I bent it so that it could fit on my shelf. Now if you're having a hard time bending it, just take it outside to some concrete and push down. Make sure to stabilize that top one because you will bend that too. And you just kind of push down until it's bent to your liking. This white one and a black one that I have, I bent the top so that they would fit underneath my shelf. Here I am kind of decorating this. Now the theme for this one is a birdhouse. I wanted it to look like the bird's nest with the bird's house. And so that is the whole theme of the bottom of this tier tray. I put those little tiny eggs there and I have some greenery. You're going to see that this sign actually gets taken out later. Yes, I did use that in my other tier tray, but I was playing around. I did this one first, but when I put them in order, I wanted them to be in the same order I did my spring ones. So as I'm playing around with this one, I actually really enjoy the way this looks, but that egg just seemed kind of bulky for the top of that, and I had this little Hello Spring sign, so here is the finished product. It is on my shelf. I added a couple other tier trays. This one is from the bathroom. I put the other yellow bird on this tier tray to bring out the yellows that I had in my bathroom, and then this tier tray I decided to do for Easter as well. That is placed in my kitchen. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you really enjoyed the two styles of tier trays, that it gave you a lot of great ideas, and I will see you in the next video. Have a wonderful day. Bye.